Sony announced the new Xperia XZ Premium, XZS, XA1, and XA1 Ultra. The XZ Premium is a premium version of the XZ and the new flagship smartphone. The XZS will be an updated XZ with the new Motion Eye camera and some other changes. The XA1 and XA1 Ultra are the new entry-level smartphones, and they will be successors to the XA and XA Ultra from last year. The XZS will be sold for $700 and the XA1 will be sold for $300. Sony has not announced the pricing for the XA1 Ultra and XZ Premium, but they will probably be around $400 and $800, $900 respectively. The Xperia XZ Premium returns to a glass front and back with metal on the sides after the XZ used metal on the back with plastic on the sides. However, the glass on the XZ Premium is Gorilla Glass 5, so it should be more durable. The XZS reuses the XZ's design. The XZS and XZ Premium both have front-facing speakers and side fingerprint sensors. The XZ Premium is more glossy because it is glass, but the XZS is also glossy. They both use what Sony calls a loop design, where the sides curve, but the top and bottom are flat. They both have fairly thick bezels because of the front speakers. The side bezels are 3.6 millimeters on the XZS and 4.2 millimeters on the XZ Premium. The top and bottom bezels are 15.5 millimeters on the XZS and 17.1 millimeters on the XZ Premium. The display size of the phones are 5.5 inches for the Premium and 5.2 inches for the S. This translates to the phones being 156 by 77 by 7.9 Premium and 146 by 72 by 8.1 millimeters S. They are both IP68 rated. The Xperia XZS has a 1080p 5.2 inch display at 424 ppi. However, the Xperia XZ Premium has a 5.5 inch 4K display. This makes the Xperia XZ Premium the second phone to have one, and the first one was also Sony. It was the Xperia Z5 Premium, which was released way back in November 2015. The XZS and XZ Premium both have HDR, which the XZ did not have. They are also both IPS. Both of the phones use Sony's new Motion Eye camera, which is the main change. The Motion Eye camera is actually at a lower resolution than last year's XZ. It's gone down from 23 to 19 megapixels. However, this leaves more room for bigger pixels. They have increased the size from 1.12 to 1.22 micron pixels on the same 1 over 2.3 inches sensor size. The biggest change is the stacked memory sensor. This makes the camera capable of super slow motion, which is 960 frames per second, 4 times slower than regular slow motion, and it also has a new feature called predictive capture, which the camera automatically begins to record when it senses motion. The XZS has a Snapdragon 820. It also has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is an increase from the 3 gigabytes in the XZ. The XZ Premium has the Snapdragon 835, which is 27% faster, uses 40% less power, and supports Bluetooth 5.0 and Quick Charge 4.0, but the biggest change is the support of Gigabit LTE. The XZ Premium also has 4 gigabytes of RAM. The XZS has a 2,900 mAh battery. The XZ Premium raises this to 3,230 mAh. However, the battery life may not be better on the Premium because of the 4K display. Sony has not announced the battery life for these phones yet. The new entry-level phones from Sony come in 2 sizes, the XA1, which is a 5-inch display, and the XA1 Ultra, which is a 6-inch display. These both have Sony's Edge displays, meaning that the displays are almost bezel-less, or at least on the side, which they are 2.2 millimeters. However, the top and bottom bezels are actually pretty big. The XA1 has about 17 millimeter bezels, and the XA1 Ultra has about 15.5 millimeter bezels. The back is also metal, and the sides are also curved with the top and bottom flat. However, the curves are not as big as on the Xperia XZ because of the Edge display. The display on the XA1 Ultra is 1080p and 6 inches, which gives it a pixel density of 367 ppi. The display on the XA1 is only 720p, which isn't too bad for the price, but the screen size is 5 inches. This gives it a pixel density of only 294 ppi, which again isn't bad for the price, but pixels may be visible. These displays, like the XDS and XD Premium, are IPS. The rear cameras on the new XA1 and XA1 Ultra are actually similar in many ways to last year's XZ. They have 23 megapixel cameras with 1.12 micron pixels and a sensor size of 1/2.3 inches. The aperture is f2.0. They have phase detection and laser autofocus. Both have digital image stabilization instead of optical image stabilization on the rear camera. The only difference is in video recording. The XA1 and XA1 Ultra both lack 4K and 1080p 60 FPS, which the XZ is capable of. The front-facing camera is 13 megapixels on the XA1 and 16 megapixels on the XA1 Ultra. Both are wide-angle, however the XA1 Ultra actually has optical image stabilization on the front camera and a front-facing flash. Both are powered by the MediaTek Helio P20. The P20 is an octa-core 2.3 GHz processor. They also have the Mali T880 MP2 graphics processor. The XA1 will have 3 GB of RAM, and the XA1 Ultra will have 4 GB of RAM. Both have 32 GB of storage and are expandable by up to 256 GB with a microSD card. The battery of the XA1 is 2,300 mAh, and the one in the XA1 Ultra is 2,700 mAh. The XA1 has rated battery life of 11.3 hours of talk time, 23 days of standby, 55.3 hours of music playback, and 7.4 hours of video playback. The XA1 Ultra has longer battery life with 13.3 hours of music playback, 28.5 days of standby, 68 hours of music playback, and 8.4 hours of video playback. The XA1 and XA1 Ultra are not IP68 and do not have a fingerprint sensor. They lack some other sensors too, the gyroscope, step detector, and step counter. However, this is not too bad because of the